in trouble communicating with your partner, we've got a tip for you. And it actually came because we just got off a phone call with some friends of ours that live overseas, New Zealand and Australia. They spend their time between. And of course, we're talking to them from here in the US. And what we realize is like, it's actually really hard to coordinate, right? We're always like,
Yes.
what time is it over there? Did you just wake up? Are you guys, are we calling you in the middle of the night?
Well,
And
then they told us about daylight savings time is about to happen in like 2 weeks there.
yeah, it's funny because I mean, this is us talking to them. We're dealing with time zones. The other thing is we're talking and we're in t-shirts and we're talking to them and they're bundled up because what we didn't realize is like, oh yeah,
It's winter.
summer here, it's winter there, and that probably explains a lot about how relating as a couple works, right? Like you and I, even this week, we're dealing with a lot of random stuff with the family, and even this week, we're having conversations where it's like, now a good time to talk. And this is like, no, it's not. Like you're kind of like in the middle of my night right now because it'd just be like the daily rhythms and just like all mental stuff that's going on. And so I realize like when you're talking with your partner, finding some way to say like, hey, what time is it for you right now? Like, is this a good time to connect? Like, we're energy levels, just not making assumptions because oftentimes we're passing each other like ships in the night. The good news is, just like from the US to Australia, there's always a couple hour window when it works.
There is, yeah.
Right? And it's got to be a little bit more effort on both part to find out what is that window to do it. And then I guess kind of back to we're wearing t-shirts and flip-flops and they're all bundled up. I mean, it happens inside of a relationship too, right? Like when you ask your partner, like, is life feeling like for you right now? I don't know if you have any thoughts on like different seasons that partners go through. You've certainly been in seasons lately where you're like, it's really hot and then really cold and really hot, and I don't want to get into that at all. But that's a real thing, right? It's like the season you're in. So any last words that you would have when it comes to communicating as partners?
I think just paying attention to your energy levels. I think a lot of times we think in time, and actually if we would shift that to instead of thinking about time, about energy, because when your energy is high, it actually doesn't require a lot of time. So throwing that out there so you guys can have a conversation this week around energy and time zones. See you next time.